Let's get the racing action underway for the final round of the season. Up first, it's the heat for Mini and Mini Rookie. Let's take you through the starting grid. Following on from time qualifying this morning on pole position, it's going to be Vince van der Hallen. Alongside him on the front row will be Vic van Kampenhout. Jeff Verbeek and Victor Reutz will round out row number 2, ahead of Jesse Moonen and Jente Moonen. Ryan Rampadarath and Maria Roberto complete the top 4 rows, and completing the top 10, representing the Netherlands and Turkey, respectively, Devrim Jeter and Can Osler. Completing the 17-strong grid in its entirety will be Matthias Verreken, Dejan Habets, Leon Herboz, Tristan Abiels, Noah Steyhalder, Sasha Al-Jabrail, and Jacques Dupre. For those watching on the YouTube live stream, there is also a pinned comment at the top of the chat saying that is where you can click on for the live timing. So 10 minutes plus an additional lap for all the respective heats. Now for Minimax and Minimax Rookie, all their races today, the heat, the pre-final and the final, will take place over a duration of 10 minutes plus an additional lap. The same will be for all categories in not just the heats but the pre-finals, 10 minutes plus an additional lap. Mini and Mini Rookie for the final, 10 minutes plus an additional lap. For the finals for all other classes, we up the ante and also add 2 minutes to the timer, making it 12 minutes plus an additional lap. Coming into this final round of the championship, before taking drop scores into account, Vic van Kampenhout leads the way on 200 points, 2 ahead of Vince van der Hallen. Those 2 are on the front row of the grid. Jente Moonen, Jeff Verbeek, Victor Reutz and Leon Herboz have a mathematical chance. They all are in competition for that ticket. Tristan Abiels and Jesse Moonen are battling it out for the Micromax ticket up for grabs for Mini Rookie. The field makes its way through out of turn number 10. Once they pass the red line, which they're going to do now, just before the entrance to the pit lane, we have the red lights on the starting gantry ready to go out. The drivers will have to be at a consistent pace coming out of the final corner. Now we get the revs underway here at the home of champions. Lights are out. We're off and racing. Good start by Vince van der Hallen as Jeff Verbeek manages to get his way through into second position. Drivers having to use the runoff area. Looks like Victor Reutz has made it up a couple of places early doors as everyone makes their way through turn 5 and up to turn 6 to the famed Europolaan. So leading the way, it will be Vince van der Hallen. Vic van Kampenhout in second. Jeff Verbeek hot on his heels in third. Coming through into the turn 7 chicane. Now through into turn number 9 they go. And what a noise it is. The hornet's nest of Rotax Max Evo power. So Victor Reutz up into P3, past Jeff Verbeek in the meantime. So we're about to come round to complete the opening lap. Ryan Rampadarath looks to have moved up a couple of positions, might be at the sharp end of the Mini Rookie class. But after lap 1, it's Vince van der Hallen leading by 4/10. Ahead of Vic van Kampenhout, Victor Reutz in third, Jeff Verbeek, Jente Moonen, Can Osler up 4 spots. The Turkish driver has made mincemeat of some of the drivers in front and has gotten through. Ryan Rampadarath in 7th, Devrim Jeter 8th, Maria Roberto and Jesse Moonen complete the top 10. Meantime, at the moment, well, Vic van Kampenhout is being reeled in by Victor Reutz. Maria Roberto trying to close in on Devrim Jeter. That is the battle for 8th place as they come through out of turn number 9 here on lap number 2 once again. Down into turn 10, the fast sweeping right-hander. They cannot go off onto the runoff area because that is an automatic 5-second time penalty. Drivers were informed in driver's briefing. Devrim Jeter right on the coattails of Ryan Rampadarath heading into the final corner, and Jeter's got through. Roberto's trying to get the slingshot as well, but she has to slot behind the number 32 from SP Motorsport. Fastest lap of the race, driver in 4th, Jeff Verbeek, the 1:26, running with Bouvan power. But still, at the moment, it is a a stalemate at the moment between the top three, but Victor Deutz trying to get a better run coming out of turn number 6, down into turn 7. Van Kampenhout defends and still has a kart length and a bit between himself and race leader Vince van der Hollen. It is going to come down to the wire in this, because after drop scores, well, van der Hollen is effectively leading, so Vic van Kampenhout needs to beat him on track in both upcoming pre-final and final races of the season. Maria Roberto has got past Ryan Rampadanath and is keeping on to the coattails of Devin Mieta. Lap 3 in the books. Van der Hollen still leading by only just over 0.2 of a second. Jenthimoon, a new fastest lap of the race, and is closing on the top quartet at the minute. Top 4 covered by 9.5 of a second. After 3 laps of racing, we're on lap 4. A 59.308 by the 110, normally running on the Haase chassis, along with younger sibling Yesit, who is currently at the moment in 10th position. Started 5th, but it was going to be a tall order to stay at that sharp end of the field at this early point. So Van der Hollen continues to lead, looks to start to stretch that gap ever so slightly, but it is a cat and mouse game at the front end of the field. 6 minutes to go. And Victor Deutz has got the slipstream on Vic van Kampenhout. He's right on his rear bumper, heading into turns 1 and 2. Van Kampenhout holds the inside line, which he's very much entitled to do so. But this is allowing Jeff Verbeek to catch, allowing Jenthimoon to catch. Can Osler was only 0.8 behind Jenthimoon after 4 laps. So there's still plenty of opportunity. Van Kampenhout still defends. Looked actually to nose up the inside briefly through at turn 6 onto the Europolan to try and see if he could get the run of momentum past a certain Vince van der Hollen. But van der Hollen holding station at the moment, keeping on the racing line. It is a very, very difficult circuit here at Karting Genk to lead at certain points. But at the moment, van der Hollen is doing an admirable job. Victor Deutz gets the slingshot coming out of turn number 11 again. But still Van Kampenhout is not relinquishing that second position. Lap 5 as we hit half time. 5 minutes plus 1 additional lap to go in the mini and mini rookie heat. And it's still going to be a case of, right, what's going to happen? Who's going to succumb under the pressure? Who's going to be the first nut to crack? And there was a slight wayward wideness coming through out of turn number 3 by Vince van der Hollen, the race leader. Nearly offered the opportunity from Vic van Kampenhout to go up the inside. However, that is not quite happening. It is about playing your cards to your chest. And these drivers have been squabbling all year long. Van Kampenhout at the moment, had a 43 in the pre-final, 43 score in the pre-final. That would have been probably around about 12th place. Took a win in the final at Marienburg at round 1, then a second and a third. But van der Hollen was a double winner at Kaupen. That has really helped him out. And plus also, having a lower drop score than Van Kampenhout gives them the slight advantage. But as I said, it's the best 5 out of 6 scores. We won't be talking points until we get into the finals. And that's where I'm going to leave that focus. Until we've done the pre-finals, we've got them out the way and everything's confirmed and ratified, then we can give you an accurate championship picture and how the battle for the tickets for our RACB registered drivers. Oh, move for the lead. Great job there by Vic van Kampenhout, threading the eye of the needle through on Vince van der Hollen off of the Europolan here on lap 7 at turn 7. Well, they do say the number 7 is lucky for some. For Vic van Kampenhout at that point, it clearly was. Now Victor Deutz is having to battle away with Jeff Verbeek. Oh, a little bit of a run wide by Victor Deutz as he was slightly squeezed outwards. Coming out of turn number 11, but he is fighting back. He's side by side with Jenthimoon across the line. And might get the inside line. Mooney trying to hang it high wide round the outside. Might get the run into turn number 3. Just about gets through. Brilliant stuff there by Jenthimoon to retake that position away from Victor Deutz, who was running as high as 3rd up until we saw just a few corners ago. But now, the top two trying to mount a breakaway. Verbeek looks to be in third place. Moonen and Roy slightly have dropped back. They have got Can Osler right there with them, the youngster from Turkey. And it's going to become a 3-kart scrap for that 4th place. 2 minutes and 20 to go. And Van Kampenhout is leading the way quite comfortably. But there is still 2 minutes and 10 seconds plus an additional lap remaining on the counter. Nothing is set in stone. Van der Hollen looked for the move on the inside. Van Kampenhout said, no, you don't. He defended nicely there, did Van Kampenhout. Vince van der Hollen trying to do everything he can. Victor Reutz, in the meantime, has got Can Osler for company. It's not going to be an easy one, but this is one of the things about karting. There is unpredictability, but there is very much a big challenge for any driver, no matter where you're battling up and down the order. Leon Herbos has got past Matthias Verreken in the meantime for 11th. Ryan Rampadara, second in Mini Rookie in the classification behind Jesse Moonen, about 0.8 of a second back, rounds out the top 11. Still, the battle for the top 3 carries onwards as we are 1 minute and 10 to go, plus an additional lap. That will give us 3 more laps of racing. Drivers cross the stripe with 1 minute and 5 to go. Van der Hollen a 10th behind, and now he's going to dive for the move up the inside. Side by side of the 2 leaders. Little bit of a wheel check between the pair, and Van der Hollen trying to get the switch back through at turn 4. He's done it. Oh, that was close. Hard in the mouth stuff there. But it was one opportunity that Vince van der Hollen needed to take back that race lead. Sent it up the inside. Van Kampenhout had to defend, and then it opened the door for turn 3. Now Jeff Verbeek senses an opportunity as well in his own right, because now the gap is about 3 kart lengths between first and second position. So we are now going to go on to our penultimate lap of this race. Lap 10 completed, 2 to go. And Vic van Kampenhout is now just under 3/10 behind Van der Hollen. Jenthe Moonen in 4th is the driver with the all-time fastest lap in this race. But now what can Vic van Kampenhout muster from deep inside to try and close that gap on Vince van der Hollen? That's not going to be easy at this late stage, because now we've hit the timer expiry. We've hit 0 on the clock. 1 more lap to go. We've got around about 1,750 metres of this race remaining. So we do have a time penalty. Maria Roberto, 3-second time penalty post-race for the Brit, leaving the corridor with at least 1 or 2 wheels out of the tram lines. But this time around, it's going to be final lap. So Vince van der Hollen leads us on to our 12th and final lap. He's got a nearly 4/10 of a second advantage over Vic van Kampenhout. Jeff Verbeek in 3rd. Jenthe Moonen, Victor Reutz, Can Osler, Devrim Yater, Maria Roberto, Jesse Moonen, and Ryan Rampadana round out the top 10. Jesse Moonen leading a Mini Rookie. But Van der Hollen needed an opportunity to strike back and took complete unbridled advantage of it. Through turn 8 for the final time. After this one, 3 more corners to go, as Victor Reutz really having to has managed to get through on Jenthe Moonen in the meantime for 4th. But our leaders making their way out of turn number 11 for the final time. Hasn't led every single lap, but it is lights out to checkered flag. Vince van der Hollen wins the Mini Max and Mini Rookie Heat here at Karting Genk by half a second ahead of Vic van Kampenhout. Jeff Verbeek rounds out the top 3. Victor Reutz in 4th ahead of Jenthe Moonen, with Devrim Yater rounding out the top 6. Can Osler, well, the youngster from Turkey, moved it up to as high as 6 in the race, finished 7th. Maria Roberto will crosses the line in 8th, will be demoted down to 9th. So we'll swap places with Jesse Moonen in the reclassification after the penalty's been applied. Matthias Verreken, 11th behind Ryan Rampart-Darath, who rounds out the top 10. Jesse Moonen in 8th place, our mini rookie race winner. Leon Herbo's 12th, Tristan Abeels 13th, Dejan Habits, Noah Stehauder, Sasha Al-Jabrail and Jack Dupre all make it to the checkered flag, with Van der Hollen drawing the first psychological blow here in Minimax.